Hi, good afternoon or good morning. I don't know when you watch this, but thanks to be back for this third episode. And today we're going to talk about the OTS methodology, which is a bit different from the thanks and a more people-centric way talked about in part 2. So this is part 3, and it's dealing with the OTS, which is basically why we're here. So again, probably it's going to bore you now, but I just want to stress our point of our vision, because again, our vision is brands in control. With that, we try to deliver cross-media effect, clarity, transparency in order to improve ROI. So how we do it? Okay, you already know it's got 3 layers. Continuous data and insight layer, the consulting program or the optimizational program, but in the middle and the basic, the starting point is pre and post measurement. Post measurement being a complete evaluation of a cross media's campaign effectiveness. That's still being done predominantly using OTS calculations or opportunity to see, and how that works and what the pluses and minuses are, we're going to talk about today. So, if we compare, for instance, OTS systems with people-centric systems, there are pluses and minuses, right? So, but before we do so, let's first, I don't know how often you deal with OTS type of measurement, but basically how it works is that you grab a sample out of a consumer panel somewhere, and you're going to ask them a lot of questions. Well, basically you're going to ask 3 types of questions. So the first type of question is someone's media behavior. So let's say a campaign is only dealing with a large TV campaign. So what are relevant media questions in that sense? How often people watch television and what broadcasters they look at, what type of programs they prefer, and at what time in the day they watch television. So that's one data set. The other data set deals with data that we get from agencies, for instance, on media planning. So, for instance, if a person is watching only broadcaster A but never broadcaster B, and the campaign has been placed on broadcaster B, then obviously this respondent will have a 0 or a very low likely contact frequency with this particular campaign. So it's basically doing a meshing 2 things. So it's meshing someone's someone's media behavior, and it's combining this with the actual campaign and ad placement in order to understand, how often would this particular person being exposed to a particular commercial or an ad, and this information is called then an OTS. So how many opportunities to see did this particular person with this media behavior have if the media planning looks like ABC, right? Hopefully that's clear. Slightly doubtful, but and of course the third part of such a project is questions relating to brand KPIs, for instance, or the likeliness of a campaign. So if we can establish that someone has a very high OTS or high contact frequency with a particular TV campaign, for instance, of course we would like to know, do they, what this commercial, do they view it in a positive way? Are they indifferent towards it, or maybe negative? Maybe it's annoying them. Quite possible. And the other one, of course, is the impact on their brand. So does it, if you ask them in a particular category, does this particular name pop up faster if they have seen this particular campaign, or is it about the same? How about awareness? How about preference? How about all these type of brand KPIs? So what typically happens is that exposed are compared to non-exposed consumers having about the same profile, and then these results are being compared. right? So you would expect that media exposure, or at least exposure of campaigns, would alter or give some sort of a significant uplift to brand KPIs. That's not necessarily the point, but that's what we aim for. What we also aim for is not to dive into a media channel per channel approach. So we focus on, this particular person has seen TV and heard radio. So what's a combination? So is the combination worth more? Does it have more impact than only TV or only radio? Of course, with digital, with out of home, with all these type of touch points, we basically do the same. Is it very different from the cross-media methodologies within Kantar? Not really. I mean, within Kantar, quite a few interesting and good cross-media effectiveness products and trackers are around, and they follow more or less the same OTS path, but there are also some differences which we will touch upon later on. So if we then start to compare, for instance, what's the biggest difference OTS versus the more people-centric approach, what we have seen in PART3, so the thanks platform. Well, the biggest difference is how we deal with people, right? So in the thanks system, so in the people-centric systems, we monitor representative audiences every minute of the day, the whole week, the whole month. With OTS, that's not the case. So it's really one moment measurement using respondents from a consumer panel and then asking them a lot of questions on their media behavior, and of course questions on whether or not they like a particular brand or a set of commercials, and what type of brand impact it has on this particular person. So hopefully I'm clear. But there are also positive differences and not so positive differences. So I guess one of the strong points of any OTS system is that it does come with a global acceptance and availability. So the OTS cross-media tracker of MEMO2, we execute this product for over 30 countries in exactly the same way. And that's one of the reasons why customers like it. There's also a minus because it's only a one type measurement, so it doesn't do you any good basically in the whole campaign, because you're going to measure and report somewhere later in the campaign. And the other one is just the processing needs more time to convert in a presentation, for instance, whereas with thanks, for instance, you have almost an immediate result. So let's move on to the next one, and what I would like to do is also to give you some benefits of the MEMO2 OTS solution compared to the already pretty good ones of Kantar. But there are a few differences. So the first difference is is this question, and I already answered no. In a very detailed or structured or whatever way you want to look at it, also Kantar solutions use an OTS approach, an OTS solution. So from within, okay, there are differences, but it's not so fundamental. Which is also a good thing, because if Kantar is working with a lot of brands on OTS, moving to a new methodology will not create a huge drop in brand KPIs, or they're very comparable. But the differences are, for instance, is that MEMO2 innovation, again, is not only producing new and challenging products or disruptive products, but it's also automating the process itself. So although OTS is, it does come with some, in the most cases, with a lot of labor activities within the MEMO2 solution, optimization has been maximized to the max. Well, that's in most cases if you maximize things, but so a lot has been optimized, automated, and also the underlying analytics. So in every presentation we provide about 7 different types of analytics, which I will show you in the next part. But for instance, media efficiency or optimum contact frequencies or those type of analysis that's being done automatically. And that's also providing a better experience both for the ones offering it, because it's the planning is more reliable, but it's also for the brands themselves. It's a pleasure to know that it's automated, so you don't have human errors in it. Alrighty, let's move on. So I think you will probably like the way we present things and results and insights in PowerPoint presentations. So my PowerPoint skills are not that great, but those of my colleagues are fantastic. So that's one. So it really looks like a piece of art in some cases, or in most cases, hopefully. And the other one is that we make the insights very relevant for optimization, right? So it's not us telling, okay, well, we have done a measurement and these are sort of the results. Good luck, and go for it. No. So we are not providing them like a large PowerPoint, many slides. No, we just give them, typically about 15, maybe 20 slides, focusing on the critical elements in those type of studies, right? So not what happened, no, only the most critical ones and the ones that we can provide a solution for. And that's that's kind of might be a difference in approach. Our customers, in most cases, are media managers, brand managers, marketing managers, whom are, they use the results to optimize, or they use the results to get better alignment with their creative agency or with their media agency. So therefore, the design and the conclusions being made in those presentations really matter for them. I think the situation might be slightly different if your customer is an insight manager or a research manager. Well, I think those type of professions you kind of see disappearing, and that's my advice to you. If you're also involved in the commercial process, try to make deals with media managers, brand managers, marketing managers, because they, first of all, have a large budget, which is always good, and they really use the data to improve whatever they need to improve. And that makes our work also more interesting, because it really becomes it's the truth within the brand and all these other stakeholders. So I find it always an exciting thing. So, but the point here is that the design and what we present in terms of relevance, I think that's the biggest difference between OTS of Memo2 and OTS of Kantar. Alrighty, and the last point, it's I'm Dutch, so we always have to talk about price, and preferably a lower price if you're buying and a higher price if you're selling. Probably not very uncommon to other countries, but Gonzalo finds this topic so incredibly important that he has chose to internally lower the price. So we offer this OTS product to the regions for about 10.5, and then the regions can sell it for about 20, so about doubling about 50% profit. and we get subsidized from the headquarters with another X amount. So that means that whatever we have to offer, it's not only better and maybe also a bit more to the point for the ones using it, it's also coming at a price point for brands which is very, very attractive and pretty hard to get elsewhere. All right, so we're going to deep dive in the OTS solutions, not by me, because I do know how it works, but it has been a long time since the last time I set up such a project. Martin, the guy you see here, he is definitely one of the specialists you want to talk with, and he agreed on making 1 or 2 presentations on the same platform, so you will have a bit more of in-depth insights, but also how it kind of looks and what's the difference in presentations and that type of topic. What I will do for the next episode is to provide a few of those analytical elements that I briefly talked about, right? So what type of elements are in every presentation, both of things and of OTS. So for now, OTS, of course, more important. But it will give you an idea of how focused these type of presentations are and how relevant they might be for a brand manager, media manager, or marketing manager. So, Martin will come your way pretty soon, but let's move on to the last part, just to give you a summary. So, again, OTS being done by Memo2 is not, from a methodology point of view, is not very different from solutions that you might be aware of within Kantar. The only problem is that within Kantar there are many different solutions and many different variations to that same theme. So what we're trying to do here is to provide a more uniformed approach to OTS measurement, to use for cross-media effectiveness studies. And I think the particular differences are that the way we report and the way we provide concrete advice to customers is a bit more to the point and also a bit more designy and attractive to look at and designed for business decision makers and not so much for inside managers. So I think that's a very big difference. The other one, and that's more of an important point to stress, is that the price point the regions are able to sell it for is very attractive for brands. So it should be very easy for you guys, but I don't want to press you. But it should be very easy for you guys to offer this type of solutions for about 20,000. I think normally seen in the market it's closer to let's say 25, 28. So it should be a very doable, if that's anything, it's a doable project to sell a couple of those. So again, Martin will deep dive on this topic. I will just move on to part 4, which will give you a general idea of how these type of analytical overviews will look like, right? Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you in part 4.